Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I say it every week. I don't take days for granted. I don't take you for granted. I'm happy and grateful for you. I'm going to remind you every week that you are healthy, you are wealthy, you are prosperous. Everything your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things because you are great. Okay. You're great. You're created in greatness. All right. We're not perfect beings in the place that we're at in the journey, but we're striving for perfection. Okay. So as we go through this journey, we wake up every day in our purpose and we walk it out because we understand that our footsteps are predestined, they are preordained. All right. It's a fixed fight and we've already won. So I want to go back because, like I said, it was laid on me at this point, probably a month ago, about setting our goals and our standards, but our belief system. But like I said, before we can set in stone a belief system or our standards of a belief system, we've got to deal with our character, and that's what we've been doing. Now, last week I talked about the self-management, the good stewardship over your own soul, and whew, Lord. So this week I want to kind of continue with that self-management, that good stewardship over your own soul, but I want to add accountability to your management. All right? Because like I said, you know how I feel. Accountability is key in everything we do. But I tell you, through personal growth and self-development, the BIBLE, that's the book for me. And one thing that hit me like a ton of bricks, and because when we think of self-management, when we think of things that we manage and all of that, most of the time, all the time, we think of money. All right. I said something last week about the difference with, being a landowner or really what we should want to do. Because in Genesis 1, he gave us dominion. Genesis 2, he gave us management. All right. What did he give back then? Abraham, he gave the garden. Jacob, he gave land. Abraham, he gave land. So we talked about the land. All right. We're purposed to be landowners. Okay. That's deeper than a homeowner. Go back and watch it from last week. I put it on there. But I got several people that reached out to me kind of in that vein. So as I was studying last week into this week, what really hit me was money management. Okay. So we are talking about stewardship. We're talking about our character. And one thing that I found in that personal growth and self-development book that I encourage everyone, it needs to be on your reading list, right? A party gives laughter, wine gives happiness, and money gives everything. All right? That's what the Bible says, right? The money is the answer. That's which I think it was. I don't know what I just read from. It might be something NLT NIV, but money is the answer for everything. But this is the thing: money. When I say answer, when you go and you look and you define answer, it explains everything. Money explains everything. Okay. So when you think about, we're talking about the accountability. All right. We're talking about accountability. We're still talking about our character. But one thing that you need to understand is that ideas, okay, God gives us the idea. The ideas can make you rich, but money makes riches. All right. So what do I mean? What do I mean? He talked to me about 3 words. Write them down: wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Money, look, money is a tool, but it's attracted to good management. It's attracted to good stewardship. We're stewarding our soul. As we steward over ourselves, our character builds and grows. Money is attracted. The tool is attracted to your good management. But wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Knowledge is the information, okay? Knowledge is the information we get. Understanding is the comprehension we get. But wisdom is the application, all right? Wisdom is the application, and wisdom's the only one that works. What do you mean? If you don't apply yourself, you don't get the benefit of whatever it is you're trying to do. Okay? You can have the knowledge. You can even have the understanding. But until you go do it, it profits you nothing. All right. So listen, why do I say that? I want you to understand that everything that we lose is not because the enemy stole it from you. Okay? Everything. Y'all do know that God will fire people. God will fire you. God is a God of principle, all right? So if you're not a good steward over your finances, whatever he gave you to steward, he will take from you. All right. People tithe to protect themselves, all right? So people, why? Because God is a God of principle. He said the 10%, right? So people tithe to protect themselves. You should not be tithing to be seen on paper or for your pastor or anything else. Tithes are to protect yourself because he's a God of principle. If God gives you something for you to steward and you don't steward it well, he will take it from you. Okay. Y'all don't believe me? Look, I gotta go here. And y'all know I usually don't do this, but I have to today because I want to share something with you. It's Meal Prep Monday, and I want you to see why accountability is necessary while you're becoming a good manager over your soul. You're stewarding your soul, okay? So I want to talk to you all right, in Luke, in the book of Luke, this is Jesus talking, all right? I'm telling you, God fires people. Jesus told this story to his disciples. There was a certain rich man who had a manager handling his affairs. One day, a report came that the manager was wasting his employer's money. So the employer called him in and said, "What is this I hear about you? Get your report in order because you are going to be fired." So y'all do realize that Jesus was telling the story. He was having a management summit. Jesus was having this. Jesus he's telling the story. All right. God will fire you. This is why we've got to be a good steward over our own soul. Because why? I told you, God, each one of us have a purpose. All right. God is giving you a purpose. He's giving you something to steward. If you don't steward it well, he will. He'll let it go. All right. But here's the thing. The manager thought to himself, now what? My boss has fired me. I don't have the strength to dig ditches and I'm too proud to beg. Listen, our natural self, I keep telling you, we're spirit with a soul wrapped in this flesh. But what happens when something is taken? This is what I need you to understand. First of all, some of the things that you're losing is not because the devil did it. It's something negative, whatever. You've got to be willing to check your management. You've got to be willing to look at your stewardship. You've got to be willing to look at it, see it if it's true, all of this, everything. Because naturally, the first thing that we're going to do naturally is we're going to fall. We're going to become the victim and we're going to become proud. It's in the word. Listen, it says the manager thought to himself, now what? My boss has fired me. I don't have the strength to dig ditches. There we go whining and complaining. So I'm used to working in the office. Now I got to go and find another job. I got to go work fast food. I can't do that. Bop, 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 bop. Murmur, complain, victim, right? I don't have the strength to dig ditches, and I'm too proud to beg. Pride. I can't go back home and move in with my dad. I can't do that. I'm grown. Do y'all listen? I'm 51 years old, and I wish Norman Evans Johnson was still up the hill in that 4-bedroom with a full. Look, y'all know when I went to empty or clean out my dad's house, we used to always be scared to go upstairs because he was in an older house, so it was like kind of creepy. But when I had to go up there and clean out what I thought was an attic, do you know the whole top of his house was fully carpeted, fully done? It was a whole room. Baby, if I would have known that. Anywho, all right. Lost focus. But what happened? He talked about pride. He immediately went into the woe is me. And then I'm too proud to beg. All right. Jesus will fire you. Why am I saying all this on Meal Prep Monday? You got to have accountability. The things that we see within ourselves that we are not stewarding well, especially when it comes to your finances. You got to see what went wrong. And instead of becoming the victim and becoming proud, you got to repent and get it right. All right? You got to see it for what it is, and then you go and you right your wrongs. So this is the great thing about our head boss. He will fire us. But if we get it right, he'll rehire you. All right? So listen, it says, my boss is about to fire me. I'm too proud to beg. I know how to ensure that I have plenty of friends. I know how to ensure that I'll have plenty of friends who will give me a home when I'm fired. So he invited each person who owed money to his employer to come and discuss the situation. So here's the thing. Light bulb came on. All right. Meal Prep Monday. What light bulb do I want to come on for us this week? 3 words. All right. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We can have the information. We can comprehend the information. But if we don't have the wisdom, which is the application to apply it to any vision, any purpose, our purpose, it won't profit us anything. Okay. So this is what happens. And even when you think about money, and I said it last week, we've got to learn how to steward the little. You steward the little, the mass will come. Let me say that again. You steward what you have now. If you're in an apartment, you clean it like it's your mansion. You clean it as if it's what you desire. With the little, when we steward the little, the mass is a magnet. We are a magnet to money because money is a tool. Okay? When we can show God, we can steward what he gives us, greater comes, and you ain't even got to chase it. Is money the root of all? The love of money is the root of all evil. But it says in Ecclesiastes, money is the answer for everything. But when it talks about the answer, money explains. God gives us an idea. He gives us vision. All right? When you work the vision, provision comes to it. You don't have to start begging, robbing Peter to pay Paul. People will begin to invest in your vision. The money will come. Doors will open up. Partnerships will happen. All right. All right. Listen. So what happened there? He began to have a mindset shift. Okay? When life starts lifing, when this journey begins to happen, when things aren't going the way that you think that they should go, or you know that they should go, that's when you need to stop, drop, and roll. All right? You need to stop. You got to pause. You got to see it for what it is. You can't get caught up on the fact that you got fired. You got to stay hopeful to know that you can be rehired. Anything that's taken from us, and this is what I believe. Now, I don't know if this is the word. This is just how I live. Anything that's taken from me, even if it's at the hand of me, when I get it right, when I can deal with myself, when I can steward my own soul, when I can become humble, when I can submit to the Holy Spirit that was left to lead, God, and direct me, I believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that my footsteps, because they're preordained and predestined, they was just waiting for me to walk and line back up in them. I don't miss a beat. All right. Gosh, I feel like I'm on a soapbox. Okay, so wisdom is managing. All right? Wisdom is managing, applying. You got to be able to manage what you apply. How are you living? What are you doing? Is your house a house of entertainment, or have you made your house a personal growth and self-development center? Do you watch TV or do you read a book? Oh, Lord. But this is what's crazy. Well, it's not crazy. It just is what it is. It's facts. God is a God of principle. All right. So I believe in Jehovah God. I believe in the Trinity. I am a believer. I walk this journey, not ashamed to be a believer. I believe, okay? But this is the thing. God is a God of principle. So you can't hate when you see the world, when you see darkness prospering and you're not prospering. Because principle is not based on whether or not you love God. And the sad part about it is darkness has more wisdom than believers. The world knows how to apply the principle. That's why you see people prosper financially, all right? You can see them prosper because prosperity is based on principle. It's not based on whether or not you believe Jehovah God or not. It's not based on that. It's the wisdom. It's the application of the knowledge and the understanding. Y'all don't believe me? We can go back to Luke. I'm gonna tell you what. See, my big brother, he was talking about it. I tell you, he had a management summit. Luke talked about it. He talked about what Jesus talked about. All right. Here's the lesson. This is verse 9. Use your worldly resources to benefit others and make friends. Then, when your possessions are gone, they will welcome you to an eternal home. The world has the application that he's talking about. See, it's in red. Who? Why? Because they do it. They apply the principles of Jehovah God. And because God is a man that shall not lie, you apply the principle, you receive it. That's why little kids, you got 10-year-old entrepreneurs. Look at the little whatever channel that is, the little boy, I can't even, Ryan. That little boy Ryan. Little boy was a millionaire, not his parents. He applied. He got information comprehension and he applied it. I watch Ryan. Anyway, listen. Why? Usually because darkness don't talk about it, they do it. We looking for prophecy, but they are profiting. We're looking for the word, but we don't do nothing with it. You get a prophetic word, have you applied it? We could be praying. They out there working. And I don't say that, it's not to say, listen, I pray. I'm not saying not to pray. But what I'm saying is we get these prophetic words, we go into prayer, we flying around with the flags, we anointing the whole house. But they're working. We don't work the word. We don't work the prophecy. Wisdom is application. After you pray, after you receive the word and you pray about it, you got to go work it. All right. So, what's the difference? What's the difference? I think that we get lazy, we get comfortable. Okay. I read somewhere, I think it's like a little bit of slumber and a little bit of sleep leads to poverty, but I'd have to look that up. It'll take you like abandoned something. I don't know. Let me scratch that. I don't like to say stuff and I don't know. So what else? This is the thing. So when you're thinking of self-management, when you're thinking of accountability of your management, when you're thinking about personal growth and self-development, we're thinking about wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This is what you have to understand. If you have an employer, so you work a job 9 to 5, whatever your hours are, that person is setting the value of you with whatever your pay is. All right. But wealth doesn't come from that. Your wealth doesn't come from that. Your wealth comes from your purpose. All right. So sometimes we have to get a job. I have a job. You get a job so that you have the tool of money. You have a set salary or you're paid hourly. This is the thing. That's not your value. That is what this employer has valued you at. That's your salary. Your true value is what you do after hours. Okay? We got to understand that our job is not our work. Your job is what you're paid for. All right? Your work is what you're purposed for. It's what you're born to do. Okay? I told you, each one of us were born with one gift, minimum. Your life is purpose. You are purpose. Okay? Your name was created to be left in the world, not just to your loved ones in your circle. Your purpose. So remember, as long as someone else controls your value, you'll never fully prosper. All right? We can prosper through a job, but that job, when you work for someone, you want to elevate your prosperity, how much you prosper. CDC, I can only go so far. All right? Even with my job position, I can only go to a certain level and a certain grade and a certain step. That's it. And then it's done. You capped out, and then you get a little percentage every year, cost of living or whatever, maybe 2%. Okay. But I can never, it caps your value. It caps your prosperity. So you've got to shift your perspective. You've got to shift your perspective. While we're talking about management, everybody want to talk about money. That's fine. We can talk about money. But I need you to understand that money is given to you at the capacity that you can obtain it, maintain it. All right. So you got to know wealth comes in your downtime. Wealth doesn't come through your 9 to 5. It comes from 5 to midnight. Literally. All right. This is why I'm saying you got to start thinking about, be accountable to your self-management. Start thinking about, what do you do when you get off? What do you do with the time that you have? All right. Are you picking up a book? Do you feel like, I've been at work all day, I'm going home and chill, I'm going to relax, I'm going to binge on Netflix, this, that, and the other? What is Netflix doing for your wealth and prosperity? I'm just asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. What I've learned, because I'm not a reader, I don't like to read. That's not like my cup of tea. But I'm learning, for me, reading is helping me with my discipline. Most people don't read because they lack discipline. It takes discipline to be able to sit down. That's why I'm so amazed. I just like hat down. I salute readers, because it takes discipline to be able to just take away from everything and sit in solitude and just pick up and read a book. It's easy to do audiobooks. Okay. And y'all know I've said it before. I still do it. I'm not gonna lie. I'll listen to an audiobook. I'll buy it on Kindle. I'm looking at it, right? But I've realized reading, it allows you to hold it longer. I've realized that when I read something, I grasp it and I hold it longer. Oh yeah, I'm on soapbox because it's 10:28. Listen, last 2 minutes. What do I want to tell you? And this is all Luke chapter 16. It's all in there. You should go read it. All right. Reading takes discipline. So, like I said, turn your house from a house of entertainment and make it your own personal growth and self-development university. God is a God of principles. So whoever applies the management principles, he must give them wealth because he's a God of principle. It's just his principle with it. All right. It's what he'll do. So just remember, when we're talking about management, when we're talking about self-management, when we think of the wealth part, just remember those 3 words, okay? You got to remember the 3 words because it goes with the principle of God, all right? Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You can have the information, you can have the comprehension, but you must apply it. That's the wisdom, all right? You got to steward the little. If you want it greater, because I've told you this before, God does not give to us by what we ask for. He gives to us by the capacity. Sometimes we ask for something and we believe, or if we feel like God didn't answer our prayer, maybe God is answering your prayer, but your capacity is so small that you miss it. You only realize because he only can give you at that amount, your capacity. I literally had 3 pages of notes and only got through 1 because I'm sweating. But it's 10:30. I don't want to go past the time. We're going to have to talk about this next week. Okay. But the accountability, meal prep Monday, what do I want you to do this week? Go read Luke chapter 16. Read it in a version like NLT, NIV, something that'll bring it to today's language, and realize that everything that is taken from us, it's not something bad. God will fire you if you are not a good steward over what he entrusts you. He's a God of principle. It becomes a reflection of him. All right. I want us all to be wealthy. I want us all to apply wisdom. That's why we're going to continue to talk about it. But in this soul management, you've got to be a good steward over the things that God has given you. All right. So this week, I want you to stay focused. I want you to stay humble. I want you to stay positive. Continue to be the best version of you unapologetically because no one else can do it. And you are relevant, you are necessary, and you are needed. Okay? I am Nicole D. Jones, and I want you to continue to have a fantabulous rest of the day. Smooches.